Hello, this is Colin from the Dynamik Beaver. Today we're going to give you a demo of how to combine the Dynamik website builder from Cobalt Apps. Yes, those guys over there have created a fantastic tool for basically customizing Genesis child themes. There's Eric down there. Thanks a lot, Eric. Really appreciate everything you've done. You are the man when it comes to Dynamik. And then we're going over to Beaver Builder. This is the visual builder that we're going to use today to recreate a site from scratch. So the site we're going to recreate is a theme that I bought a little while ago, actually, before I discovered StudioPress and Dynamik and all those good things. And it was a theme I bought from Theme Forest, and looked like a good theme at the time. Actually, you know what? It did serve its purpose, but looking back on it, it's a very complicated theme. Although, you know, there's fantastic support on there. If you ever did go and decide to buy that one, you would be getting good value for money. But the reason for this video is I want to show you something that's easier and better, and certainly a lot more customizable than what you'd get if you bought the U design. So what we're going to do today is we're going to create B design, and right now we have a default installation of the Genesis framework with Dynamik theme or a Dynamik child theme installed, and that's what it looks like right out of the box. So nothing happening here except for hello world and a basic installation. So we've got to start off. I'm going to just close off a couple of tabs here. Let's close off that one. And this is the design that we're going to copy. So let's just have a quick look and see what we've got here. Okay, we've got a header, obviously with a logo. We've got some social icons and a phone number up here. We've got a menu that it goes gray. We've got an orange active indicator there. We've got a slider. Now this, I know for a fact that this is actually the Revolution slider, which is it's a high-end slider. It comes bundled with the theme, so we're actually going to use that also in the rebuild. We've got a section underneath here, our attention grabber right as soon as you land on the site, and we've got some call to actions, or call outs should I say. Here we've got 4 of those. Then you can see we've got another section highlighting a graphic with some bullets and an ordered list here. But one thing I want you to pay attention to is the wrap. It's side to side completely, one side to the other, and we're not actually contained. But if you look at the actual theme, you'll see that it's contained within these borders here. Everything is between these 2 borders. So we have probably around about 1100, 1140, looking at that pixel content area, but all our backgrounds are wrapped to the full width of the browser. So that's going to be a little bit complicated to recreate, but now you've got Beaver Builder working on Dynamik. It is going to be so easy, I tell you. You're going to really love this. Anyway, let's get to work. We'll start off with the header. So we'll go into let's just close these tabs. We don't need Cobalt Apps. We don't need Beaver Builder right now, but you should visit those sites if you want to find out more information about the Dynamik theme and also the Beaver Builder plugin. So we're going to start off with our theme, and I'm going to go into Dynamik. This is what happens when what you see when you go into the Dynamik Builder. And right now we need to, first of all, create the logo we've got up here. So what I've done is I've created a substitute logo. I've actually preloaded that into Dynamik, but I'm going to show you how to do this anyway. So let's go back to Dynamik. And what we do is we go to the header tab. Okay, we select our logo. Our logo type is actually selected within the Genesis theme options. And this is actually leading us back to the Genesis theme option. So we've got to look for the logo or the header. The logo is set to dynamic text right now, and that's what you see when you go over here, is this is dynamic text. But we want to change that to an actual logo. So we're going to click on that, change it to image logo, and then we're going to click Save Settings. Now, nothing's changed right now, so we've actually still got our dynamic logo up there, or dynamic text logo still on the page. But if we go back to Dynamic Design, which is under the Genesis section of your sidebar there, we go back to the header. we will actually have an option to upload or choose a logo here. But the first thing we have to do is actually upload that logo. So we have to go along to this images tab here, okay? And I've already done this, but what you would do is you'd choose your file. Essentially, you'd find your file on your computer, you would upload it, and then you would end up with it on here. But as I've already done that, I'm not going to do it again. Anyway, I just want to take a quick note on that. So the height of this logo, you can see I've changed it a little bit. It's the Beaver Builder demo now, is 106 pixels. So I just want to keep that in the back of your mind because that's going to alter our height a little bit. Also, we've got a width of 170. So it's the 106 I just want you to pay attention to right now. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there, go back to my header. Now from this drop down box here now, I will be able to select this because that image has been uploaded. Don't worry about the Add Retina Ready logo at this point because this image is not, or this logo has not been created for high resolution displays. It's just for demo purposes, but I'll get into the ins and outs of the dynamic builder in another video. So right now I'm going to save our changes, and what we'll do is we'll just head on over to our page and refresh that. So F5 is a quick way to refresh the page, and you can see now we've got our logo in there. Slightly different. We need a little bit of padding on the top there. So I'll go back to dynamic design, and you can see here down here we've got the header image logo margins. As you can see right now, it is set at 0. So I'm going to actually just change that to 10 and save the changes. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to change the header height because if we go and look at that right now, it's going to be, you're not going to see it right away, but it's going to be a little bit tight. As you can see, you can see it actually. It has cut off the bottom of the logo. Now we know that the logo is 106 pixels high. I've also added a margin of 10, so that's 116. And if we go back to our header height, we'll see that it's only set at 100 pixels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 5 to the bottom. So I've got 106 plus 10 plus 5, which gives me 121 on the height. So if we save the changes now, we'll see that we go back to our page, refresh it, and we've got all our logo back again. Yay! Okay, so next step, let's go back to UDesign, and we need to add this section up here. So let's add the social icons and the phone number. Well, as I prepared a little bit earlier, just to save a bit of time here, we're going to go to the widget area. And essentially, we're going to put a widget up into that top right area of our child theme, which is the dynamic child theme. So what I've done is I've actually created a text widget, and I'm going to drag that up there. It's just to save a bit of time. I created this earlier. Essentially, it's a whole bunch of links to graphics that I've uploaded to the site, and also I've added the telephone number. It's nothing special. Spend a bit of time on this and you can get a nice looking widget in there. So if I actually leave that there, let's go and have a look now and see what happens if I refresh the page. Okay, so we've got our social icons and our phone number up there. We've got probably a little bit too much space at the top and probably need to just push it over a little bit. So if we go into our dynamic settings again, and that will be under Genesis, Dynamic Design, and we go back up to that header section one more time, we'll see our padding and margins for the widget area. And that's at the bottom here. So right now we've got a top padding of 24. I'm going to lower that down to 10 just to match the top of the logo. Okay, and I'm going to add some right padding, probably about 20 pixels, just to bring the widget area in a little bit to line up with that side of that page. So let's go back and refresh that again now and see if we've got that in. That's much better. There we go. Look, we've narrowed the top and we brought it in pretty much level from the side there. So that's the logos taken care of. If we go back there, we can actually, let's just remove that frame, and that will put us more in line with a direct comparison. So we can go, yeah, okay, so we've got the logos up there, not bad. We could play around and get those aligned a little bit more, but let's go and put the menu in. So something else I prepared earlier is menu in the custom menu area. So if we go to widgets, and actually, let's go to menus, and I'll just show you the menu I created. These are just, I've created one page, which is the home page, which we're going to work on. and I've created dummy pages or just links essentially, which are just connecting back to our homepage. They don't go anywhere, but they're just there for the purpose of creating this demo. Normally, you would obviously create pages and then put the page links directly in here. But just for the purpose of the demo, we're just going to use some dummy links. So I've got a menu. It's called the main menu. So if I go to my widgets area now, I can leave this because I've already saved it. If I go to my widget, I can add a custom menu, drag that in here. It's going to be below the widget we've already got in there. If I select the main menu, we'll save that. And we should, if we have done everything correctly, we should go here, refresh the page, so F5, and we now have a menu there. Okay, that menu, if we have a look, if we compare, the menus are a little bit tighter. We've got a different font. Now, if we hover over these, they turn to a lighter gray. They're not quite black to start off with, but they certainly turn gray when you hover over them. And the active one is orange. So what we're going to do is we're just going to head back into Genesis Dynamic Design. First of all, I'm going to take care of the spacing between the letters. We were a little bit tight. Now down here, we've got a left-right spacing of 15 pixels. I'm just going to take that down to, I'm going to take it down to 8. So I'm basically going to half the space between the two. So that would be narrowing the menu quite a lot. And then we can just concentrate on the active color. So the inactive color was nearly black. Now I know from my experience that nearly black would be a 333. And our hover cover was pretty light gray, so I'm going to go with a 9999. Now you wouldn't necessarily know these numbers, but just working in web design for quite some time, you get to know certain hex colors. And I'm going to say this needs to be an orange, so I'm going to go with F26522. Now that's one that is a bit of an odd one, but I've worked with that color lots of times, so I know that. So I'm going to actually click on Save the Changes, and going to go back and look at that page. We'll refresh it now. I just want you to pay attention, so I'm going to leave my mouse pointer there while we refresh it, and we'll see how much we've shrunk that menu as we take it in there. Oh, we didn't shrink it any. Okay, so that's something that should have gone in a little bit there. Let me just go back to the dynamic settings and left, right. Oh, I did it on the sub menu. There we go. That's the problem. It should have been on this one here. So I'm going to change that one to 8. And going to do the save changes. I'm going to put that one back to 17 actually, just so I don't, I like to correct things if I've done them wrong. I like to put them back where they were before. So we save the changes. We'll go back in there again. I'm going to put my mouse pointer right here in line with the H. Now this time you should see everything go back in a little bit. There we go. See how it's tightened everything up a lot. So if we compare this one with the U design, you can see that we're actually starting to get somewhere now. We don't have a home page as yet, so we won't be able to do the active link being orange, but we now have, nearly black menu items or navigation words, and when we hover over them, they turn gray, just like the demo version here. One thing I did notice is that this has got a little bit of a background. It looks nearly white, but it isn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually grab some color off of this and find out what it is. And there we go. It is not quite white. So we've got that color. I'm going to go back into Beaver Design. I'm going to go back up to the header again. And this time I'm actually going to change the header color. So we're going to change the background of the header. You can see we've got a color here. It's set to white right now. So I'm just going to paste that value in that I just got there, and we're just going to click Save Changes. So that should change the header background to just a slightly off-white color. Yeah, there we go. Hardly noticeable, but you can notice it from between the two. Okay, so that's the header taken care of. All right. What we're going to do next is we're going to go on to a page. So we will continue on and start using the Beaver Builder section. Now that's pretty much the dynamic taken care of, but we're going to move on to Beaver Builder. So before we go into Beaver Builder, there's one little thing that I do need to show you that will make the difference of your theme working or not. Remember earlier I mentioned that the youth design theme has this wrap that goes from side to side. Well, we need to create that. Now the standard page in the dynamic builder will not allow you to create a edge-to-edge wrap like that. So what we're going to need to do is, I've already done this previously, but we need to go and just basically add a little bit of CSS code, and I will actually put this for a download so that you can copy this text. So don't worry about trying to grab it off the screen or anything like that. I'm going to add it as a download later on, or put it in the notes, the notes of the video. So we've got a bit of custom CSS. This was created by Junior Atoms over on the Cobalt Apps forum. So that's where you get Dynamik from. Thanks, Larry, for doing this very much, by the way. And also we needed to create a template. Now a template is going to show up as a page that we can select, or a style of page we can select when we create our page. So that's a page template. And there's some more code in here that Larry has put together for allow us to create a full width page. So that's a great thank you out to Junior Adams over at the Cobalt Apps forum. I really do appreciate for him putting this together. But this is not my code, so it's his code. Just a quick shout out to him there. So we're going to add these two into the Dynamik custom settings, and then we'll be set to create our page. So if we go to pages, we're going to actually start with creating a home page. Now one thing you'll notice is that over here we have a template. Over on the right hand side here we have a template option. This would normally be the default template. So if I update that, what you would be stuck with is you would be stuck with a page that was restricted by the width set in your dynamic settings, and in this case it's 1140 pixels, and we wouldn't be able to get those edge-to-edge rows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this back to the new full width wrap that we've added thanks to Junior Atoms there. I'm going to update it, and we can now start building the page. So I've got it actually set as a full width page down here anyway. This doesn't actually make any difference, but just to add to the list of things, just to double check, put that down there. Anyway, so here we go. This is what happens when you go to Page Builder. We're going to launch the Page Builder. This is where the Beaver Builder starts taking effect. I'm going to choose a blank page, but in here, just quickly before we go on to the blank page, Beaver offer you all these templates to start off with, and as you can see, there's some really good looking websites that you can create from nothing. There are already templates there for you. There are also a number of content pages, so you really do get some good value for money from Beaver when you buy the plugin. You haven't seen anything yet, by the way. So anyway, we're going to choose the blank page. And right now we have a wrap that goes from edge to edge, which is really great. So what we're going to do is we have to look at the UDesign. Okay, so we've got our revolution slider in there. I'm going to actually just lay in an area for the revolution slider. I'm not going to put it in at this point because while it's running, it takes up a lot of resources. So what I've done is I've just did there, should I say, I've just pulled a one column row across and dumped it into the page area. Now, right now, everything's restricted to the 1140 width that we've got set in Dynamik content-wise. But if I go into the row settings here by clicking on the wrench, or depending if you come from North America or if you come from Europe, it would probably be called a spanner. But anyway, it's a wrench over here. So we click on that and it brings us into our settings options. Now, the first thing you'll see in the row settings is the width. Okay, and that defaults to being fixed, but what we're going to do is we're going to change that to full width. Okay, and then the content area in this one we also want to be full width, so that means the content in this area would go from one side of the browser to the other. So we're going to change that to full width, and you'll notice that the box behind here has just moved to stretch out to the edge. We're going to leave the page color as default. We're not going to change anything else because you're not actually going to see this, so we're going to save that. Now what I need to do is just put a little placeholder in there, because this is how I work. I tend to put little placeholders in areas of the page that I mean to come back to later on. So I'm just going to grab one of the basic modules from the Beaver Builder, and I'm just going to grab the heading, for example, and just drag it in and just type in revolution slider, so that I know that it's going to come in here later on. Okay, so we're going to save that, and that's just a placeholder. So we're going to come back to the slider later, but let's just go and see what's next on the U design. So if we look below the slider, we've got this area down here. Once again, we've got a custom color behind this. So I'm just going to grab my color picker, and I'm just going to grab, whoops, wrong one there. I'm going to grab my color, and I'm going to choose this here, and we've got that copied to the clipboard. So what we're looking at is we've got a full wrap of this light gray, and we have two columns in here. One's a little bit wider than another, so I would take this as it's a kind of a 2/3, 1/3 setup here. So what we need to do is go back to our page, go to our add content from the settings in Beaver Builder, and we're going to choose our row layout. So I'm going to take two columns this time, and I'm going to drag it right underneath here. Make sure we drive out of the revolution slider area because we want to change and put a new row. I'm going to drop that there. So we actually have a new row, and I'm going to once again click on the spanner or wrench, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to change this to the full width, but this time I'm going to leave the content at fixed. There's a reason for that. I don't want all the content to go out to the side. So let's just click on save. No, let's not click on save just yet. We need to change the background color of this row. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the background type to a color. And I know for all you people in the UK, there's a U missing in that, but that's how they spell it in North America. So just ignore my little bits and pieces that I come up with. Anyway, the color, we're going to use the color picker, and I'm just going to actually paste the value that I got there. As you can see, all the magic happens behind, and we've now got that silvery gray color there already. All right, so next step is we need to get a 2/3 and a 1/3 column area. Let's just bring this up here. So we need 2/3 and 1/3. So I'm just going to go back to my page here, click on a column, and I get into the settings. As you can see, the default to 50%, so I'm just going to change that to 67. I'm not going to do any 66.33 or anything like that, just 67 will work. And what that will do is it'll automatically change this one to 33. Isn't that magic? So that's got our 2/3 column set out. Now we need to put some content in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the add content. I'm going to just add a text editor, and I'm going to put that straight in there. And what we'll have here is I'm just going to go over to the U design. I'm actually just going to copy this, Control C, okay, and I'm just going to go and paste it in here, and we will mess around with it there. There we go. You see, we've got in there. We got a little bit. It's a little large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do this for the sake of doing it. I would do this in the style sheet usually, but we're just going to cheat a little bit and just bring the size of the font down a little bit. There we go. It's 10, not quite where we want. We've also got some large spacing there, which does reflect it a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click save there. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cheat, and I'm going to go over here, and actually it's not cheating, but I'm going to go back to my dashboard and my other tab there, and I'm just going to go to my dynamic design settings, and as soon as I get on the first page, you can see I've got the default font here of 1.6. I'm going to change that to 1.2 because I think that the font on the U design is probably closer to 12 pixels. If you get confused between rem and pixels, essentially take the decimal point out the way and you end up with the pixel value. So I've got 1.2. Now the line height is going to be way off if I leave it at 1.6. So line height probably, I'm going to put that down to 1.225. That will work. So we're going to save the changes there, and we will go back and look at the page again. So let's have a quick look, and we haven't done any changes on this page yet, so we can't see anything, but let's go back to our page builder. As you can see, we've got everything going on over here. So I've actually just tightened things up a little bit. You won't see it quite yet because I need to save this page for you to see that, but we're just going to save that. And what we're going to do is just look over here. Okay, so we've got some funny colors and stuff. I can go in and put those afterwards. They're not actually links, they're just highlighted colors, which makes it confusing for a viewer if you can't click on it. It looks like a link. But anyway, it's a demo version of the theme, so they wanted to look at it. But while we're here, you know what? We'll grab everything over here and we'll copy that. Go back to our home page. Now we'll do another thing. We'll do the add content. drag a text editor over here, and we'll just paste that content into here. Of course, I lose all the formatting, but what we'll do is we'll just make this. I don't know. Let's just go with a, uh, a font size of, let's do 14, maybe a little bit bigger. So the problem I've got here is on the text editor is that I don't have an option of 16. So I'm going to go to 18. You can move this out of the way, just have a look. It goes on to 3 lines, which is not right. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to go into the text and I'm just going to edit that to 16 points. And what we'll also do is while we're in here, we go to advanced and we'll just change the padding to left. There we go. Look at that. We've got 2 lines. Now, one thing also we're going to do is just go in there and we'll go back to visual again, just for the sake of making this quick. We'll just right align that so it goes over there. We'll also change the color. We'll just choose the orange standard in here and we'll save that. Okay, one thing I've got to do is I want to change that to B design because that's part of our theme here. So I'm just going to quickly go into the text editor settings here. I'm going to highlight the U. I'm going to change that to B. And so we've got B design. There we go. Done. All right, so the first section we've nearly done. This is way too far up. If we compare it to the U-design ones, as you can see, it's pushed down a little bit. We've got quite a bit of space there. So we're just going to just fix that really quick. We'll just go into the wrench settings, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to advanced, and the top margin is set at 20 already, but I'm just going to push it down probably about another 10 pixels. So we'll just go 30. Maybe a little bit more actually. 30 doesn't seem to be enough, so we'll go 40 and see if that pushes down a little bit. There we go. I could probably just go a little bit more. I'm going to go 50 pixels for the margin. There we go. That seems to balance it. You know what? I think that will balance it because I know that these are actually going to squash up a little bit once we've actually saved the page. So let's leave it at 50. I'm actually just going to go up here and do a save. So we click on Done, Publish Changes. Okay, and you'll see, now you can see how those are tightened up a little bit with the text spacing. So I'm still not entirely happy with that. If this was my website, I would certainly push that down a little bit. But based on the demo version, we're pretty close there, I think. So we'll leave it as is. Anyway, so let's have a look at the next section. What we've got. So we've got a white background wrap to wrap, and we actually have 4 callouts here. That's what they call these things, callouts. So we actually have images, and what I've done is I've actually just copied these images already, so I have them in my media library so we can actually use them. And what we'll do is we'll copy the text out and just paste it straight in. Anyway, so let's go back to our home page again. We'll go to the page builder, which will be here. We'll actually open it up again, and this time I want to create a row layout with 4 columns. So I'm going to pick up the 4 columns and I'm going to drag it. I'm going to make sure I get out of there. Now I've got a new row again, but my row background is gray. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to change it to the full width. I'm going to keep the fixed content width, but I'm going to change the background color to white. I'll just come up here quickly and just select that, and we'll click Save. So that is my background already taken care of now. And now I'm going to start populating the contents on here. So one of the nice little content adders they have in Beaver Builder is under the Advanced module is the callout. The callout comes in quite handy because you can modify it in various ways. But let's just start off with the standard one. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to create the first one and we're going to duplicate it and then just adjust or change the contents in the duplicated versions just to make it quick. So right now we've got the heading. So I'm going to go back here and choose the heading, and the heading for this one is SEO review. So I'm going to Control C that one, copy it, and Control V paste it in over here. So good stuff. We've got the SEO review. The color's not right yet, but that's not something I'm worried about. And we're going to go to style. I want to overall that to be centered, and I want it over my my icon. And we'll leave it at S3, at H3 right now, the header 3 font, or style should I say. And we'll choose a photo. Let's go and select a photo. Now that first one was the red one, so I'm going to select that and we're going to put that in. As you can see, it's now coming together. So the last thing we need to do is just add the text. So I'm just going to open up the text box, go back over to the U design, grab this. I'm going to grab the whole lot this time, except I don't need that much. There we go. That works out perfect. We'll take this back, paste it in here. I'll do a little bit of modification, so I'm just going to push a line down there. I think this was all left aligned instead of center aligned there, so I can actually override the call out settings there. There we go. And this one actually was right aligned, and it was also orange. So we'll click on the orange and we'll save that. Okay, things are coming together. Actually, the font looks a little bit too big, so I'm just going to go back in there. Do the same thing we did. This is just for quick demo purposes. We wouldn't normally do this. We'd change it in our style sheet. I'm going to just bring that down to about 10. Just make it a bit smaller, and also do the same thing with the read more link. Okay, that's brought it down a little bit. So that's a lot better. Right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to duplicate this by clicking on this little icon here, and that will bring another copy below. Now we can just pick this up by the little left-right arrow, put that over there. We've got 2 of them now. We'll do the same thing. We'll click on the little duplicate icon. Same thing will come down below. We'll grab it there, and we'll put it up there. And last but not least, we'll do one more, and we'll just grab that and bring it up to there. So all we need to do now is just go in each one. Okay, so click on the wrench, and we're actually going to change the title. So I'm just going to go back to U control. I'm going to choose solid build, which is the title for this one. Oops, I'll add the S back in a minute, and we're going to put that up there. So we'll put the S at the beginning. And then I'm also going to grab the text from that page there, and make a mental note that the next one along is blue. So I'm just going to grab that over here. There we go. Just paste it in there. Okay, and once again, that is 10. I'll just do the font size on that just to make sure, and we'll put that back to 10. There we go. And I'm also going to change the image. So replace that back to blue, select the photo, and save. So that's the next one done. And next one I'm going to do this one. And so get that ready. Go over to U Design. This is the choose your color, and it's the orange frog. Good looking frog, that guy. And so I'm going to put this obviously in my title there. And then I'm going to go and select the text. This one. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll just paste that straight in here. I'm going to leave a dot so you can keep the styling in this one. And this little thing, a little cheating method there. If you don't delete every single thing, you'll keep the styling. You won't have to change it again. And last but not least, we'll go find the orange icon, which is that one there. Select it and click Save. That's our third one. We have one more to go. So click on that, ready to go. Go back to U Design, and we will go ongoing support. Copy that back, and we will change our title. There we go. And get ready to paste into here. So we'll just get our last little bit of text here. So I'm just going to take all of that. Don't worry about the first letter. I'll take that as it is, and I'll do the same thing here to keep the styling. So that's a W. We'll change that. Everything's good there. All I got to do now is just change the image. We'll go to replace. It was the green one, which is the last one. We'll select that photo, save it. Now, last but not least, just go to make myself feel better about this. I'm just going to go back in here and change all the U designs to B design. So, and that's the first one. Is there a U design in here? Yes, there is. So I'll change that. We'll just change it to a lowercase b over here. Save. And one more over here. So we can change that to B design, save, and there are none in the last one. So right now we're looking pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click on these and save it one more time, publish changes, and what we can do then is we can compare it. So it's saved, and we can look. There's our original, okay, and our section's over here. So looking pretty good. At this point, I'm going to call it a day on this particular video, but we're going to come back with part 2 and finish off this page on our next video. So hopefully we'll see you soon. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's Colin once again from Dynamik Beaver, and we're going to finish off this demo very soon. So look for it in video 2. Thanks a lot. Bye now.